Welcome to the Showdown Podcast. This week's episode, the Horrorhound 2017 Review Extravaganza Spectacular. With your host, Corey Miller.
Yep.
And Brad Scott. Let's get ready to podcast. Welcome to the show. This is the Showdown Podcast, a three-time only award-winning podcast. As I said in the intro that he wasn't supposed to talk during, Corey Miller is with me here at the Miller Zoo.
I'm here.
And via live from... Nope, he's not here.
No, he's not
Vic's
here.
not here because Vic didn't go to Horrorhound this
Yeah.
year. He was in Delaware.
Yeah, so it was kind of pointless to actually put him on this episode.
Yep,
So.
priorities. But we promise, like, this is weird because you're like, wow, this is 2 episodes in a row without Vic.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? Vic is still very much part of the Showdown. He is a key member still. And these are just 2. We needed to make sure we had content. Like, we had to make sure we had stuff to come out with. So this was to make sure that happened.
Yeah. Next week we'll be back with look-backs. I think we're going to go with Necessary Roughness next week.
Okay.
And then the week after that will be a movie I already forgot that we watched.
Batman and Robin.
Oh, yeah. So you can easily see
Those are
why
the
I
next
forgot.
2 movie episodes of the Showdown. This is not a movie episode.
And then guess what we get into? We get into our horror movies.
Spooktober.
Is it Spooktober? I thought it was Spooktacular.
I think it's Spooktober.
Okay, well that'll be starting the month of August or October. We're gonna go all horror movies. So that'll be interesting to see what we decide to come up with. I think I already have my pick. I think I'm agree with you with the one that that you said I should go.
Are you going to tell people?
Yeah,
I was going to say because if you're not, then you're being a dick.
Yeah,
you're just bringing it up vaguely.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with Sleepaway Camp as my pick.
Yeah, and I don't have a clue yet, so sorry.
Yeah,
so I have no insight.
That ends that conversation there. But hopefully we'll have some good ones. Hopefully not an Ernest Scared Stupid.
Ooh.
I should not have even said anything.
Ooh. Stay tuned.
That would be your pick, not as a. We get 4 movies for next month. So one movie is going to be all of us decide. That's not going to be the one we decide on.
Yeah, but
that's going to have to
be
be your pick.
Maybe it is.
Nope.
We'll see.
Not with me. So, but yeah, this episode we are going to give our thoughts about Horrorhound this past weekend.
It's what we kind of have to do, considering they give us free access.
Yeah,
the last 3 years.
That's the least we can do. I'm sure they don't listen, and or anything.
Yeah, that's
like that,
fine if they don't. We're doing it to try to help them because it is a good convention. It was held again at the Marriott.
Yep.
Sounds nicer than the area.
Yep.
But it is a hotel here in Indianapolis
on the east side of Indy,
and it's 3 days.
Yeah,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
2 was enough for me, I think.
Yeah, I went to 2 as well this year.
Did you?
Did not go to the 3rd.
Oh yeah, we were there
Did
together.
Not go Sunday.
Yeah,
went Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, we went Friday, Saturday.
Took my daughter Saturday for a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
She went as Slender Girl.
Oh, she changed the name. I thought.
Yeah, she told you that.
I thought it was, but you said Slender Man when you told me.
Wow, well, it was a Slender Man costume, but she's a girl, so it was Slender Girl.
Okay. So Friday started off very interesting. Started walking around for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then the fire alarm goes off.
Oh yeah.
And normally when this has happened, I've been at a convention before where it's happened, and come to find out it happened a few times on that weekend. It was just somebody pulling the fire alarm. They're just being a dick.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happened Friday night, everybody pretty much we were in the vendor room, and everybody pretty much just stayed in there and just ignored it.
Well, yeah, because it's one of those weird things. You look around and you're like, oh, no immediate danger.
Yeah.
Must be a false alarm.
Yeah, nobody's bothering to leave, so I guess we're okay. Until somebody from Horrorhound actually came in.
Like, you know when they have those things that happen where, like, people get trapped in burning buildings?
Yeah.
And there's people always that look back at people like, how did they not? Because they ignored the first 5 alarms. Because that's what you do.
That was us being trapped.
If you don't see a fire near you, you're like, it must not be pertaining to me.
Yeah. So the Horrorhound finally had somebody come through and just started getting people out. And we were outside for at least a half hour.
Yeah, at that point, though, there's still people taking it they were way too relaxed.
You think
Now,
so?
granted, they were right. There wasn't anything.
Yeah.
But I don't care, man. The fact that they're telling people, hey, we're going to stop the exchange of money right now and everybody has to just leave
Yeah.
is, to me, usually a sign that, like, I don't want to be around whatever is going on.
Yeah.
And I was like walking and I was getting frustrated because people would be walking and then they'd be looking at their phones and just stop. And I'm like, hey, this is evacuation.
Yeah. You hightailed it out there pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not sticking around. I am very much the black people reaction to white people in haunted movies and stuff. I'm always like, yeah, why would you go fuck with that? Leave.
Yeah.
Go to safety. And whether it was a fire, whether it was anything, and nowadays you don't know. It could be there's somebody there with a gun. You don't ever know anymore with crowds. Crowds seem to be where a lot of bad shit happens nowadays. So I was like, you know what? If they're telling us to leave the building, it's maybe something I don't want to have anything to do with.
Yeah, so we went out to the parking lot for a while and just kind of hung out, took a couple pictures, not with fans, with ourselves.
Yeah, I felt bad. Like there was this guy. I don't know. He was something.
He was a vendor.
Okay, yeah, but he was just kind of coming across like he was somebody we were supposed to know.
I think he was just relaxed. I mean, he was just kind of.
Oh, I don't know. 'Cause when he asked about the photo,
yeah,
he I think sincerely thought photo with him at first.
Oh,
and like I thought I had made it pretty clear with like the holding the phone to him.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I don't want to take a photo with you.
Yeah, it's like
I want you to take a photo. And I even told him, I go, I honestly don't feel that bad. I go, because as a unknown mediocre comedian after shows, that's happened to me a lot. Where after shows, someone comes up and they're like, would you mind taking a photo? And when they say it that way and they're not like handing me their phone, I sincerely get people that want to take pictures with me after shows. Mm-hmm. It's right after I can, trick them into thinking I'm successful for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. And I've had it before where I'm like, yeah, and I go to put my arm around somebody, and they're like, oh, no, like, can you take the photo of us? And so I always laugh it off, and I think it's funny, but I don't know. I felt like I kind of hurt. I felt like I cut that guy deep.
That's all right. He'll get over it. So, yeah, we were out there hanging out for a while, and, they finally let us in. The funniest thing is, now one of the guests was the saxophone playing muscle-bound guy from The Lost Boys. Now, if you've ever seen The Lost Boys, there's just a scene, he's got no lines, and the camera's going through the town where Corey Haim's family has just moved, and you see a guy playing saxophone. So he has no lines, but everybody remembers him. He's kind of like an iconic extra, if you will. You've never seen the movie, so you're giving me that weird look. So
iconic.
Yeah, everybody knows about this guy. So anyway, we're outside, and as we're going back in, I see him, and he's carrying a saxophone, which he had at his table with him. So he was making sure, if this building's going down, I'm keeping the saxophone because that's my money maker.
Do you think he knows how to actually play the saxophone at this point?
Yes, and I'll tell you why too. Because what we didn't see Saturday night, there was a concert. And we were supposed to go to wrestling, so we weren't going to be able to see it anyway. But the guy that was at the table next to him in the corner, he did the music for Lost Boys and actually has CDs out and whatnot. They did a concert. They did a concert together in that conference room that we were in the night before. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that he knows how to play sax. But I thought it was just funny just seeing him carry the saxophone.
How do you know he didn't just have like a CD playing of a saxophone?
He was just
making the motions.
He was doing air sax.
Yeah, no, not air sax. He has an actual sax in his hand.
Yeah,
I'm saying like he's sax syncing.
Sax syncing, yeah. But so that's the way Friday night started off for us. But overall, I thought the rest of the night went pretty well. I mean, there wasn't any more fire alarm issues at all. No,
it was, and we got probably the most content from that night.
Yeah.
If you go to our Facebook page, and there's a couple of them on our Instagram account, but I couldn't, for some reason, it wouldn't let me put them. I think maybe, I don't know if you had your video settings were different or something, but I couldn't get all of the video to fit on Instagram.
Was it because it was too long, maybe?
No. The lengthwise was fine. It was just the actual size. Like I had to. If you go look at the Instagram videos and the Facebook videos, they're different.
Oh.
So, anyways, if you go to our Facebook page, the Showdown Pod, there's some videos. We went around because if you remember our Stephen King It Survivor Series episode, it did not survive that day, but we said that we were going to ask people at random at Horrorhound, and we were going to use those votes to tally in as well. And it came back overwhelmingly in my favor. And so now Stephen King's It, the original 1990 miniseries, is in the Showdown Hall of Fame.
With an asterisk, a very big asterisk.
No.
I have a feeling that 90% of those people have not watched that movie in years.
Go watch those videos. I'm guessing all of those people have seen that movie recently.
I don't know. Even a couple of them were like, I haven't seen it for years, but yeah, I think it still does. Well,
no, whoa. Whoever said it. Go to the Facebook page, folks. You'll see the proof. All right? It was 10, I think maybe 8 or 10 unbiased, complete neutral parties that were questioned.
Yeah.
And overwhelmingly, it came back that it holds up.
Oh, yeah.
So, good for you. It also broke a lot of records. And so check out our other Showdown episode that should have already been released. We do a review and spoiler of the new Stephen King's It. That's as much as we're going to say about it. We've talked about it at length. I talked about it on WrestleMania, also available on the same podcasting network you're listening to now. So Stephen King's It came out over the weekend, smashed every record.
Which is another reason why we were asking everybody.
The only thing I think it was a little short of Deadpool's, I think, rated R record.
Oh, really?
I think it was just a little bit short. But even still, the fact that it's not a comic book movie, it's a horror movie, and it got that close, and it did it without Florida. Because Florida's gone. No, it actually seems like it's doing okay.
Yeah.
So, what did we move on? Let's move on. We got a lot of good videos there, funny videos. We kind of just walked around.
Yeah,
most of the night.
For me. It was more of a relaxed environment as opposed to past, because usually I'm carrying a camera around and some kind of recording equipment, and this time I didn't have to. I was shooting all the videos from my phone, so that made things even more easier. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed just being there.
Well, people liked what we were doing too.
You think so?
Well, people would stop and kind of listen if they were in the area, and everybody seemed.
I couldn't see that because I was watching you. I didn't know what
I was noticing. But yeah, people were stopping a little bit here and there. Like when we were talking, like if we were around a crowd of people already, then when people saw you like hold up the phone and me talk like I was interviewing them, then they would kind of listen, and everybody seemed to laugh when they listened.
Okay.
Basically, the gist was I said I'm Brad Scott from the Showdown Podcast. I waited, and then I said thank you for holding your applause when they were not clapping, and then we asked them if the It miniseries holds up, and then we ended there. And we got better at it after the first. If you go look at the first couple, you could tell we're like, it's the first couple that we're doing.
Yeah.
And then like I got a little more comfortable with keeping it shorter and not, and then there's a really good video. We're not going to play any of the audio, by the way. And this is a visual thing. There's one with a girl who is dressed up like, I don't know
what she was.
She was something. And she does not think it holds up. But then there's a second video that we posted, and it is her explanation.
Yeah.
And it's a good video. Go check it out.
Yeah. But
what did you think of Saturday then?
Saturday was crowded, as one would expect. I mean, Saturdays at a convention are always more crowded than any other day.
And I tell you what, man, it made me think that like when we go, like what we need to maybe do for future conventions is, because the Saturday morning wasn't nearly as crowded. It was crowded, but when I had my daughter there, we were able to at least move around pretty freely. Mm-hmm. When I came back from, taking her and dropping her off,
yeah.
When I came back, like in the middle of the afternoon, it was insane. You couldn't go anywhere without having to like shoulder through some people.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like in a like the dick way.
Right.
Like this one guy, as I'm walking with my daughter, like he could have easily, since he's not walking with a 10-year-old, could have moved around.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, like I'm trying my best, and my arm's still kind of out, and he just kind of palms my elbow and throws my arm. Like, stuff like that. That was getting a little annoying.
Yeah.
And that started happening more and more in the afternoon.
Yeah, and that's what you and I had talked about, too. It's like, we don't like crowds. But
No, I don't.
But we still go to these things, which makes absolutely no sense. And that's one of the things that bothers me is people just think that they've got, you know.
You're not going to fuck anything up if that button hits, are you? You got the mic on right on there.
Nope.
All right.
So yeah, that's one of the things that I hate. Is like people thinking that they've got priority over you and just like, oh, get out of my way.
Well, and especially it's just like, where are you going that you're in such a hurry?
Yeah.
There's 3 rooms to go look at.
Yeah.
And you can get around all of it.
And I'm guessing this was in the vendor room, right?
Mm-hmm. I will say the only thing I wish they had more of with Horrorhound, PopCon does a good job of this. There's so much going on with PopCon beyond the vendor room and that room. It didn't feel like there was a lot of other stuff at Horrorhound other than walking around those 2 rooms.
Yeah, well, 3 if you include the.
I know they had stuff later those nights.
Yeah,
but even then, it was just like the It thing in that one room with the karaoke.
Mm-hmm.
That was all right.
Yeah, well, they usually use that though for panels. Like they had panels that you and I didn't see. I actually sat in on a little bit of one. It was an indie filmmaker one. But they had a Lost Boys one.
I mean, now they also don't have the same room to work with like the convention center has. Yeah. But like the fact that that PopCon has the podcast going on live, I don't know. Maybe there's probably other events we just weren't aware of going on around.
There were movie screenings going on that we didn't.
No, I'm saying around, not at the hotel even.
Oh,
but maybe even around it, because that's what happens with PopCon is you'll have these other little places that set up their own events that are PopCon related or Gen Con related.
I know what you're saying.
And they'll do stand-up or they'll have movie screenings of, like White Rabbit. Not saying they've done that, just the type of place.
Yeah, yeah.
So that would have been more interesting if we would have known about some of that stuff.
Yeah, I think with the vendor room, that tends to be not only the hottest room in the hotel. But,
like temperature-wise?
Yeah, temperature-wise. But also the the biggest crowd and the biggest
most
place.
Congested.
There you go. And I think if there was a possible way they could spread that out just a little bit.
Well, I think what you need to do is
take the celebrities out of it and spread out the vendors.
Where are you going to put the celebrities then?
Another conference room that's in there. There has to be another one.
They have, but they already had like 4 conference rooms they were using for like 4 celebrities apiece.
No, I know.
So
there was 2 rooms by the main aisleway across from where that popcorn, where they were selling the popcorn. Take those people out of there. Put the celebrities in those.
Wait, how many people showed up to that pod or that independent filmmaking panel you went to?
There was probably, I don't know, 30 people at least.
Couldn't you put them in a smaller room and do the panels in a smaller room and put the celebrities in that conference room? Wouldn't that make more sense?
You could, but then they've got the after hours stuff, and if the celebrities leave their tables at night and leave all their pictures and stuff on the tables,
well, take your pictures with you. It's not that hard.
I know.
I'm a comic. I travel with merch. You can take all that. You can load. There was nobody there that had an abundance of merch that couldn't have been loaded up.
Yeah.
Especially photos. That's the easiest
thing. I'm not
thing.
arguing with you on that aspect, but I'm just saying this is what they're thinking because the celebrities, plus they have their.
But they don't leave them. They don't usually leave them just sitting on those tables either, do they?
Yeah, they'll take the tablecloth that's on there, take it, and fold it over the table. So
okay, but I mean, that seems like I can't imagine that's like the sole reason.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason.
I think I can't believe that. I can't imagine that would be the sole.
I think mainly
that prevents it.
I think the main reason is because of the after hours stuff that they do on Friday and
Saturday.
Yeah,
but I mean, once the celebrities are gone, it's after hours. All they have to do is, as long as they can leave their banners up and stuff. Hell, they could probably even leave the photos there if you just put your volunteers there to watch them.
Yeah,
Like, because then you do the same thing. You fold up the tablecloth. If you have people there that are actually paying attention to that stuff, it's gonna be hard for somebody to unfold a tablecloth and get a photo out.
Yeah. So
you know what? Maybe we should just contact that.
Yeah, let's make sure we
We're kidding.
get our ideas.
That is a good idea though, but it is because it does get hot. And the only problem with that is in that vendor room is that last aisle. Like if you mistakenly try to go down that aisle to get back to the front, like it's so hard to just. And I feel bad for the people that are selling stuff across from the celebrities.
Yeah.
Because it has to affect their business when those lines get long
And that's another
and congested, is people are then trying to also look at merchandise and stuff, and you don't feel comfortable kind of standing there looking at everything like you would want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know I've seen lines where the line actually for one person will end up going down that aisleway, but it'll be in front of other celebrities.
Because there's just no room.
And so you actually have to, as the fan, you've got to sit there and go, "Hi, how's it going? No, I'm not buying anything. Just waiting in line here for the other guy. Sorry." And then you've got that awkward thing, or you just don't make eye contact at all. You just sit there, look.
Yeah, it was
ahead.
Ric Flair missing really hurt the overall celebrity list for someone
us.
like me who's mainstream.
Yeah.
Like because when it comes to horror, I like a lot of horror things and I like a lot of horror movies, and I feel like I've seen more than the average person. But I am by no means a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fanatic to where I know.
You've probably never seen the show.
I've seen a couple of episodes. My friend's sister watched it in high school a lot, and so I would see a couple of episodes just through like her having control of the TV. But I wasn't ever a fan of it.
Yeah.
So the only thing I know is Seth Green was on there, right?
Yeah.
And it was Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I know.
And
the one dude got a spinoff show because my friend's sister was obsessed with him. Angel, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's David
Boreanaz.
Bones.
Yeah, he's on. Well, now he's on another new show. Bones is canceled, and now he's on some show about going in and getting Bin Laden. It's on CBS. There's a little plug for them.
But they need it.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, speaking of Buffy, they had 3 people from that, and a 4th guy I think was on the show too, or was maybe a writer. He was an older looking guy. I don't even know who he was, to be totally honest. But they had Nicholas Brendan, and he was one of the main characters. He was friends with Buffy.
You could just talk to our audience.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain to me, because if our audience probably knows who you're talking about. So don't feel I don't want to drag this out for them.
Okay,
by having to hear what they know.
All right, then I won't drag it out.
No. You can keep going.
No, it's okay.
Just don't feel like you have to keep me in the loop.
I don't have to cater to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Cater to the audience.
But those 3 were off and
pretend I'm not here.
Okay. They were off in
It's the Corey Miller show.
With interruptions by Brad Scott.
He is. You are. He really wants to. He is mad at me right now, folks. This is the first. That's the first time I've ever heard him sincerely get frustrated, and I did it on purpose because I was like, I don't think I can do it. But I did it a lot quicker. I thought it was going to take another couple of interruptions.
Yeah. So they had the 3 of them off in one room, along with, as we said, the saxophone playing guy and and G. Tom Mack, who did the music for Lost Boys. They were also in there, along with some of the other actors from Lost Boys. So this room was nice. The celebrities were nice and spread out. You could actually move around in there. I don't know. Maybe you could have got 1 or 2 more in that room from the other room, and maybe be able to spread out the vendors a little bit more. Maybe I'm not real sure. But and this is us playing. Designing it. So what do we know?
I imagine this show ends with you finally having enough and just murdering me.
Oh God!
That's the end of the Showdown podcast.
Nah.
And then we do a memorial episode to me.
Yeah. But another one of the rooms was the Mask Fest.
Yeah, that was a cool room.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool masks.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things to go through and look at all the different.
We saw Fat Pennywise.
Yeah. And how did he get fat?
Eating a lot of diabetic children.
There we go. I'm not sure. When you said that when we were standing at their booth, I was afraid that they heard. Because you said it kind of loud.
Popcorn's my favorite because it goes pop, Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, you fat fuck. Looks like you could slow down on the popcorn.
So, but yeah, there was a lot. I always like going through there because I like seeing what's been created by all these great artists. Whether they're making masks, whether they're making.
No, don't get me wrong. The Fat Pennywise was still really good, and I'm sure if you like put it around someone's face, it doesn't look as fat. But just the way that it was positioned, it looked like Fat Pennywise.
It did,
and it's funny.
And I think we have a picture on that on Instagram or Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's on mine actually.
Oh, okay.
Brad Scott Comedy.
And but there, some of those masks though, it's funny when you go through there and you see them, and yeah, they're really expensive and rightly so. But you see them and they look so great. But then when it comes time for Halloween and you go to those Halloween stores and see the mask and you're like, wow, these are junk. And it's like, I don't even want to spend $25 for this mask because it's, you see the good artwork compared to the commercialized, just like, let's just make as much as we can. And they don't put any real craft and skill and time into it. So that's one of the that's one of the joys that I have going through there. And we saw in there Tom Savini was another one of the guests that happened to be in there because he does have a special effects school in Pennsylvania, and he's usually there kind of promoting that and showing some of the stuff that he's done.
Oh yeah,
as well too. So
he was on The Simpsons.
Oh yeah, he was. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a big deal.
Are you a big deal once you get Simpsonized?
Yeah, I think so. I think like when you're brought on as a celebrity on The Simpsons, in maybe even if it's more in just your field.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who Tom Savini was until The Simpsons, to be honest.
Not even from Dusk Till Dawn. Nope.
Mm-mm. I didn't see From Dusk Till Dawn. I think until we did it on the show.
Oh, really?
I think. I don't know. Anyways. The mask room was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite mask?
Oh God, it's really hard to narrow down. I think it's just some of the oddball ones that like aren't real characters.
I like the Skeletor ones that the one people had. Did you see those?
I don't know. I probably
they had like
did.
A purple felt hood.
Oh yeah.
So the hood looked like real, wasn't like a rubber hood.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the skeleton face looked exactly like Skeletor from the show, but it also looked kind of realistic.
Oh yeah,
it's a good mask.
I probably saw it, and just like I said, I saw so many, and just the artwork. I'm just amazed at, and I wish that I could support them and buy the stuff. But I could, but then once I get home, it's like, what am I supposed to do with it?
Way to just shit all over them.
No,
you were better off if you were just like, I wish I could support all of them, but unfortunately, money's a little tight. You instead go, I could, but what the fuck am I going to do with that dumbass mask once I get at home? Then it's just a dumbass mask that I overpaid for.
That is not what I meant.
To support someone's dreams.
That is not what I meant. Yes, I think I will end up killing you by the end of the episode. No.
I said the show. Like, I was thinking maybe a year from now.
Oh.
You were talking,
Yeah, I'm doing it in about 20 minutes when this episode's done. No.
We got 20 more minutes.
Oh, yeah. No, no, I am broke as hell, so there's no way I could buy the stuff anyway. But no, and that's not me just covering it up.
But the way you said initially, you were like, I could.
All right, we've established that. We're just gonna.
What mask would you have bought if you could have had if somebody was like, here, I'm giving you this money, but it's actually just a gift card good for one mask at Horrorhound, and you can't redeem it for anything else. You can't mail it to Comcast.
Damn it! I don't know. It would probably be one of those ones that are characters that the person made themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought there was a lot of them that were really neat, and a lot of sculptures too. I think I would buy probably sculptures before I bought like masks.
I told you the card is only good for masks. You're already trying to wheel and deal on this.
No, I already said it'd be something that was original.
I think the Skeletor one I really liked, but I think if I had the mask gift card, I think I'm going Fat Pennywise.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Just because you think it's funnier.
I just like the idea. I kind of really wish I would have at least seen how much. Because if it had been like $30, I wish I would have bought it.
Put some like padding in there to really make it so it's not fitting your head correctly.
Well, no, but then also it'd be like I'd be like Fat Pennywise who's out of work.
Mm-hmm.
It'd just be like in a T-shirt, and some jeans or pajama pants.
Pajama pants, yeah. What are you trying to say? I wear pajama pants. I'm surprised I'm not wearing them now.
I have flannel pants that I put on whenever I get home to sleep in that are like comfy. Comfy pants are the best. That's why I love comedy as a job. I have to wear uncomfortable pants for like a couple hours a night, and then I get to wear pajama pants or flannel pants or whatever for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
It's great.
So what about people dressed up and in different costumes?
The Pennywise family the It family was good.
The family?
It was the dad was Pennywise, like an old school Pennywise.
Okay.
And then his son was Georgie.
Okay.
And his wife was just hanging out. She wasn't anything. But okay, so just the two. But Harper and I got a photo with them. I'll post that.
I think I know which one. I think I know who you're
He
talking
looked
about.
like, yeah, and he almost, I mean, he kind of looked also more like a real clown than even Tim Curry did in that movie.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, his hair was kind of matted down as opposed to like all primped up and everything. He just looked like a dude who's just like a clown who got off work and the drinks.
Yeah, unfortunately, there wasn't as many as there have been in the past. I didn't feel like.
What, people dressing up?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people went with just the horror T-shirts.
Yeah. That's primarily you see an abundance of those. Any
I started that trend, by the way. Since the first PopCon we've ever done, I go suit jacket and with PopCon pop culture theme shirt, Horrorhound. I don't remember what I wore last year, but it was something similar.
To Horrorhound? I don't remember what it was either.
I don't know. It might have been Batman or some shit, but
yeah.
This year I went to Pennywise back to back.
Yeah,
I have two different Pennywise shirts.
I was gonna say not the same shirt.
No,
but yeah, there wasn't many, but there was one that thought that now Horrorhound had set up a big canvas that had Mask Fest logo on it all over it, so people could come and take pictures in front of it. But there was one guy who thought that he owned that section.
Oh yeah, he thought that was his personal backdrop for photos.
Yeah, he was dressed as Daryl from Walking Dead, and stood there the entire time waiting for people to come up and take pictures with him.
Yeah, and I said that was one thing. If I was somebody that worked at the convention, I'd be like, "Hey, dude, you didn't pay for a booth spot. You don't get to pretend that this is your booth and promote your little cosplay. Like, you got to go."
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I almost didn't want to go up there with my daughter and take a photo in front of that because I was like, man, I don't want this dude to ask me to take a photo, with him. Like, or if I'm wanting to take it, then I do that uncomfortable conversation again. And at least with the other guy, he was like a cool guy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't awkward. Like, this guy would have been really awkward if I was just like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
We don't know who your character is.
I just walked up to Brad and was like, just go up there. He was standing off to the left side, so I was like, just stand on the right side and we'll do right here.
Yeah.
So we got it. So, I mean, he didn't look at us anyway. And
no, but
there were some of the other people were coming up too, so they were kind of taking the attention away from us.
But if I was somebody who wanted to take a photo in front of that, and he was like, there's a lot of times I wouldn't have done it. I would have been a little turned off, and I can see why people would be turned off to go over there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If you run the convention, you got to be like, hey, man, that's kind of what we're using to get free social media advertising.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're making people a little uncomfortable. Like, it's like the homeless guy. Like, you want to help him out, but you're like, man, but you can't be just standing here in front of my store asking people for shit.
Yeah, you're going to have to move. There was several other places he caught.
I got to been like, here's $20, man. Like, go get a sandwich. Use Subway. How about Subway's your official backdrop? The Subway, right out the doors, out the gate, and to the right. That Subway is your backdrop.
I'm sure I would be interested to see the numbers that Subway does on those weekends, and how many.
Oh, a lot probably.
Yeah, their numbers have to shoot straight up.
I bet Arby's is more.
Well, yeah,
judging by the clientele.
Well, either that or judging by their prices too. Arby's is more expensive, for sure. And it's right across the street. So
Subway's pretty. I mean, if you're getting anything decent from Subway, it's a little pricier.
Well, anyway, that's neither here nor there. What was some of the things you enjoyed from the show? Is there anything specific
from the show, from the convention?
Yeah.
It was fine. It was a good weekend. I thought it was fun. My daughter loved it. She had a great time dressing up. A few people asked to take pictures of her. She liked that. She thought that was cool. I couldn't complain, man. We appreciate every year that they let us go and we get good little video content. It benefits us way more than it benefits them having us there. But at the same time, we try our best to reciprocate that by posting through their social media, using the hashtags, plugging them, and devoting an entire recap episode to it.
Episode, last couple years.
I will say I did enjoy last year's a little more.
Was that because of the guests?
Well, wait, was last year also the one with when I went to the wrestling thing and you guys went to the Kevin Smith movie?
No, that was PopCon.
Oh yeah.
Last year they had David Arquette was there.
Oh well, no, but
Jamie
they had
Kennedy.
Yeah. Well, last year was definitely suited more towards my
your
sensibilities and my taste, because my nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because you had why am I blanking on her name? Amanda Beers.
Yeah, Amanda
Beers and
Tony Todd.
And the guest list was definitely more of my taste last year.
Yeah.
But the convention itself was still great this year.
I thought the funniest thing was seeing Corey Feldman for the first time. And
that was a big guest when Ric Flair dropped out.
Yeah. And he's sitting behind his table with the sunglasses on and a hood with gold diamonds that are like glued onto the hood or whatever. And the hood is pulled up over his head. So just seeing that was kind of funny. It's like, really, you can't take off the sunglasses and just...
No, he's in character. That's what people want to meet. You don't want to meet the real Corey Feldman, dude. He's probably just a normal, boring person. You want to meet the guy that looks like he's crazy. I'm serious. That's what people want.
So, yeah, they had him and Sean Astin and the kid that played Data all sitting right next to each other. So that was kind of cool. A little mini Goonies reunion, too. So... overall, I enjoyed it. I had fun. I wish we could have been there Saturday night because, we missed out. We missed out on the concert, but we also missed out on a midnight movie double feature hosted by Josh Arnold.
Oh, yeah.
Which included The Impersonators, made by local filmmaker Josh Hole. And also another movie made by another local filmmaker. I think he's more southern, though, like in the Bloomington area. Space Babes from Outer Space, I believe, was the name of that one. So we missed out on those, but all in all, it was a great show. I always love going, and I look forward to next year's. That's for sure.
Yes, so we appreciate Horrorhound for having us once again. It was very kind of them. Great convention, great job. And
I think that's going to end our short episode for this week.
This is a short episode?
Yeah.
This has been the Showdown Podcast, Horrorhound 2017 Review Extravaganza Spectacular. For Corey Miller.
That is me.
Vic Miller, who's not here. I'm Brad Scott. Gone but not forgotten for Vic. I'm Brad Scott. Thank you for listening to the Showdown Podcast. See you next year at Horrorhound, buddy.